Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. And fans may not be back, but it's a big game, and so we have guests back again. It's been a while since we've had guests on the show. It's the first time in this year, in 2021. The last time we had was last year, but we've got guests back. We've got Liverpool fan Ayush joining me. Ayush, welcome back to the show once again.
Thank you. Happy New Year, guys.
Yes, yeah, it's the
Well,
first time, isn't it?
thank
It's
you.
only been 2 weeks, and we've got
Yeah.
United fans sporting the Man United tracksuit, Kanaya, and he's doing that because it's a draw. If it was a win, I don't know if you would be sporting that. I don't know if you want to be sporting that, but welcome to the show as well once again.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks for having me. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think yes, you summed it up. Yeah, I'm happy it's a draw.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a nothing draw actually. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know what to feel. I don't know if I should feel happy. I think if you gave a draw at the start of the game, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine, take it. But after watching that game, I'm not sure if the draw sounds like it. It's just mixed emotions. But one thing I do want to point out before I start is in the preview show. If any of you watched it, I said that he should play Pogba on the right because he can put on because on the left Alexander Arnold is there for the taking, and he did it. He put Pogba on the right today. Of course, he played Martial on the left instead of Rashford. I don't know what to make of that. But Kanaya, I want to start with this. Why, oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why, Lindelof and Maguire still starting games for Manchester United? I mean, they had a good game today. I think overall they had a good game, but why is that happening? Why are those two still starting games?
I think I think uh, I think all in this game basically wanted a trusted partnership. Like Bailly has been good. Bailly and Maguire have been good. But then there is something about these games that Lindelof has an edge. I don't know. Somehow he has an edge, or maybe a temperament issue with Bailly has.
Maybe a Scandinavian issue.
Yeah,
They're both
there could
Scandinavian.
be.
And
There could be anything. Like you could just mix it up anything. But then that was a surprise. So there was one surprise there that he started Lindelof, inspired by
Mhm.
being there. And but then I think he wanted that partnership. Like Maguire feels a little more comfortable. Both of them lack that pace, definitely. You do,
Yeah.
but then that was not the tactics that Ole in this game did approach with. He had a very different approach. Like by can if because United was basically kind of wanting. They were going to wait. They were going to wait that Liverpool attack, and then get
Yeah.
a movement. They were planning to stay deep from the start of the game itself. So you could
Yeah.
see the pressing was not that high. The pressing was not that great. Everybody was kind of just okay. Let the game flow. Let's see who creates that moment of genius or a brilliant moment. So I think the game was pretty much panned out in that defense. How Ole
Mhm.
had.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You play a deep defense against Liverpool because if you go too high, and Bailly is not someone who can play a deep defense, so maybe that is a reasoning. But Ayush, speaking of centre back pairings, it should Klopp have taken off Shaqiri? It's a controversial. Should he have taken off Shaqiri and put in Nat Phillips or Reece Williams, one of them, just so that he can play Henderson in midfield? Because right now, when he plays both of them together, it kills them offensively a little bit, doesn't it? It doesn't affect them much defensively because they're so good, they're that damn good. But it does affect them offensively, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree to your point because, but Nat Phillips and both Rice Williams, they are, I mean, young and inexperienced, and with United's prowess in getting penalties, and maybe he had a thought that. Yeah, I think that was the thinking behind it. I mean, Klopp didn't want to take chance with the youth who are making some silly tackle on Rashford or Bruno. So, and that we saw also. I mean, there were multiple instances where Fabinho showed his cool head and didn't barge into a tackle in the inside the box. Otherwise, it would give penalty. He could have given it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get Fabinho starting. I guess my question is with Henderson.
But I think just to comment on that, I think what Klopp want, because Klopp has no idea on the two, like when does Van Dijk come in.
Yeah,
He has to try these options. He has to go with his most experienced team. I think what I
Yeah.
used pretty clear, like having Williams starting or Phillips starting would just have kind of created that a little bit of doubt in that whole back line. I think it was basically saying that okay, we don't know how long Van Dijk is out for. They're not. Matip was a surprise. I really felt in the build up that Matip will come through.
hmm
the way Klopp was kind of piling it up a little. No, we don't know. It's one day. He's just trained. So it was just playing mind games. It's just playing just mind. I think he won't come in, but then it was just kind of keeping everybody on the edge. And when he started Henderson back, first of all, everybody thought it's just a false 4. It's going to play it's basically going to be a 3 defense, and Henderson just ahead of them, and Thiago and Wijnaldum just holding. But then it just changed because he was really at the back. So I and also Klopp was thinking that with the games coming in thick and fast, and the defense was not kind of slowing down, he would want to try something new, and this was the game he had to try, because he knew that United will also not come kind of all attack.
Yeah.
Like this was a tactical game. This was basically a tactical, and where they stand in the Premier League as well, there is nothing to lose for both of these teams at least currently, because United still sit on top, and Liverpool are still the favourites to win the title. So it was
not now.
No, I think Liverpool are not joint favorites. They're not the sole favorites. I think they're joint favorites with City. I think Liverpool was sole favorites.
Come on, man. With Henderson and Fabinho at centre back, you are making us favorites. I mean,
that's the beauty of Liverpool. That's Klopp.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Yes,
they're that damn good. Liverpool are just too good. I mean, you could put it the other way, that even with those two in defense, United never got in the box. I mean, the best way to not concede penalties against United is just not let them get into the box, which is what Liverpool did. They're not letting them into the box. But I mean, let's talk about offense, Ayush. I think this is something that's interesting, and that it's the second time in Klopp's saying that he has not won 4 games in a row, and I think it's one of the first times that they've gone 3 games without scoring. And it's issues. We talk about defensive issues, but it's actually offensive issues that are killing them a little bit right now. Salah, Mane, Firmino don't look on the same wavelength for some reason. There were lots of passes that were going behind, or there were players that they were not finding runs. I mean, the issue, of course, is that there is a person. His name is Diogo Jota, who would have been a great addition, but now he's injured because he played a game that he wasn't supposed to play in. What can Klopp do to freshen that up? Because right now it looks a little bit stale.
I think Klopp delayed the substitutions a lot late. I mean, Origi could have been given a chance a bit more earlier. I mean, because Firmino is going through a very bad patch of form, and he's not contributing in any way in the attacking areas. So might as well should have given a chance to academy player also. I mean, there must be some guy who can do the job because right now it's become very predictable. I mean, the creativity is asked from our fullbacks, from Trent and Robertson. They will give the crosses, but we lack height also in the middle of the park, so we can't go get those headers. And credit to Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. I mean, they had a great game today. I mean, they completely pocketed both Salah and Mane. So it wasn't the lack of effort, but just the predictability of the game. I mean, United just knew how Liverpool will come to them, and they were fully prepared. So kudos to United defense, I think.
Yeah. It's a lot of graciousness happening here. I don't know why.
But this was just weird. Like somebody.
I know. It's like I think he's like trying whatever it is to create all the positive energy and like turn every negative into positive, because he doesn't want that. He's Ayush knows it's the hope that kills you. It's not disappointment, it's the hope that kills you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
ever since that 7-0 victory, I mean, once we won against Crystal Palace, I mean, the whole league went shockwaves that Liverpool is too good. I mean, they can't be beaten. Since then, we are struggling. So
I think Liverpool. I think today's game offensively, what's it's been. I think the 2 most important players for Liverpool offensively have been their fullbacks.
Yeah.
On the sides, basically Trent and Robertson, they've been underperforming. Period. It's just simple. The quality. The number of crosses that go in from them have kind of reduced drastically. Could be because it's a second season when everybody knows what they're capable of. So, even when Pogba is not closing, Robertson down, or, allowing Trent to run like simply and he's crossing. So, but even then they were not there. There were a lot of chances.
That is because the Fabinho and Henderson both are playing a lot deeper. I mean, they are the ones who orchestrate the play from midfield. I mean, they give the balls to both the fullbacks in
No,
attacking
but
sense.
there were times where both of them were still up, and
Yeah,
Mainal.
yeah, definitely.
So that, but then still the quality wasn't like in the first half itself. There was a point where he could have just put it across the first touch. It just kind of
Yeah,
let him. Just the ball just went away. So and I don't know what's wrong with Trent. There's something seriously wrong with him.
I think,
He's
yeah,
not
I
he's
think
not just he's not clicking.
I think what's to Ayush's point, which is correct, is that the two defenders, because they're not defenders. So I think Klopp has told Robertson and Alexander-Arnold to stay deeper. And Alexander-Arnold, because he's been so bad defensively, I think he's consciously also trying to stay deeper so he can kind of. I mean, he was taken off in the last game, if I'm not mistaken, because he gave the ball away, what, 38,
yes,
40 times? So I think they're both staying deeper. So what's happening is they're having to take those extra 2 or 3 yards forward, and that gives the opposition defense time to reset and time to because they don't have height in the box. So the real key is to go first time and catch defenses out. But if the defense is already dropped back, then it's an issue for them to put, even if they put a good cross in. If you've got Maguire and Lindelof waiting to just clear the head out, then it's going to be difficult.
But also in the first half, like in the first half, Firmino had a great chance. Like if the one he scuffed off with his left foot, I don't know what he was aiming at, and he had like on the left, kind of completely empty. I was like, maybe he's just going to pass, and Roberts is going to just drill down through his left foot across but that didn't happen. So maybe it's also there is a lack of confidence, as you said. There has been a drought of goals now. The problem with Liverpool right now, not scoring the sevens, the threes, the fours, the twos that they used to the last season, which actually kind of put their stand in the Premier League that there is no way you're beating us. And you could always feel like when Liverpool was the last season, when Liverpool were attacking like this, like 4 people kind of going in, you could feel that somebody's gonna do something magical here, and then it's gonna be a goal. But it just this didn't feel. I didn't feel that. I just felt that Maguire is there. There was some patchy defending as well from Luke, and there was some. But then I was like, they were still kind of being able to. They were not punished. Like Liverpool has been known to be ruthless, so that was not there. So I think offensively, the club has a problem. And Jota, I think he's
the missing link.
Everybody's gonna just say him. Yeah.
Once he comes back, they're missing him right now. But I mean, I do want to get forward because we don't have a lot of time. So talking about the offense, I want to talk about United's offense also very quickly. It's not a lot to talk about, but I mean, the two players that I want to focus on is Rashford and Martial. I think he I don't know if he surprised Liverpool in a way to play Rashford in the middle. You can kind of see why he did that, because he wanted to sort of attack that space between Henderson and Fabinho, but all Rashford did was increase his offside count. I think it was 8 or 9 offsides in the first half that he had. It was literally, I think that was direct. It was just go forward and hope to hell that the referee or the VAR doesn't catch you going forward. That was the issue with Rashford. I think there was a couple of chances in the second half where he could have laid it off to Cavani or Martial, and he instead decided to run with the ball and then gave it away. I thought he had a very poor game today. But as poor as he was, Martial, I think, was also pretty bad today, again, playing on the left. When you think about Martial, the fact is he should be the striker, but this is United's biggest game of the season, and he plays on the left wing. I mean, what does it mean for his future at the club right now? Because you talk about Salah, Mane, Firmino, I think Martial is probably under more pressure than any of them because of the way he's just not looked at it this season. He's been missing chances that he should be scoring. He's now, being told to play out of position in some ways. What does the future hold for him in particular?
I think Martial is, he has, in the pre-match, I was just reading through, and he's the player of big matches. He scored the debut, and there has been so much hula and hype about him forever. Like it's every season, every match, you just expect him to explode because he has that quality. Like United fans have waited, and still waiting, basically. Yeah. When will he kind of come off age or come off form, or when does he hit that patch where you where you just bow down and like, this is amazing, this is what we're waiting for, like something like Cavani did, just he changed games. But for Martial, I think the fact that Ole still goes with him is a big statement. I think that's the big thing, that he's not out of favor, he's out of position, he's not out of favor. He's playing out of position because of the reason that he does not trust him in the middle of the pitch. So I think that is one of the reasons. But today United, the way they played offensively, I think what I really felt was like the main feeder to them, Bruno Fernandes. He was tired. I could literally see him in the center of the pitch, just moving around. Not the same intensity that he had. Maybe he has a niggle in the training. Maybe there was something up with him, because he was really, because he has been the fulcrum. Like, he pushes them forward. He demands that Martial runs. He demands that Rashford, and the offside for it was just like, that's the thing. Like, he was just a tad bit slower. Like, when he was feeding Rashford and while he was feeding Martial, he was a little slow. I think I didn't see that intensity from Bruno, but I think Martial, we're just hoping that he picks it up again, because Greenwood is there, but there are players kind of just knocking. Van de Beek still did not start. I'm like, again,
He
thinking
would not have started this game. Like, I mean, if you see, I mean, the point is, right now he's not going to start the games because he's not played so many games. You can't expect him to come in against Liverpool, whatever the reason being. You can't expect him to play this game. I would have been very surprised if he pulled that off. It's just the way it is. I mean, this is not right or wrong. We all have our opinions, but it would have been very surprising if we started this game. But I mean, you say he's out of position and out of Kanaya. I think it's because of lack of choices. I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on this, but I think it's lack of choices. United don't have a winger, so they're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to rotate between Martial, Cavani, Greenwood, Rashford for two positions. They're playing Pogba as a winger right now because that's how bad the situation is. So I think it's just a matter of Solskjaer saying, "I wish I had Haaland, and I would not have to rely on Martial." But I mean, until they get a striker, they'll look for a striker in the summer. I think they'll look for that, and that will probably be the end of Martial's, or the beginning of the end of Martial's career, probably. But Ayush, just one final thoughts then on this. Where do Liverpool go from here now? I mean, what does Klopp do to try to change this thing around? Because one game is a bad game, 2 games is an issue, 4 games is a blip, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we really need a miracle. Either we get someone in the market, attacking player and a centre back, or our medical team creates a miracle and all the missing players become fit. Only then is a possibility that
they need some vitamin C injections. I mean, if anybody remembers that, it's a very old saying in football. Vitamin C injections. There's a reference there. If somebody knows that. It's a very old thing, but I mean, it does make sense. I mean, the January transfer window is open. Klopp has said he's not looking to buy, and he's probably not going to buy anyone. I mean, I think he's just playing, but I actually thought that playing Henderson and Fabinho in the last couple of games was like a statement to the board to say, you know what, I need a centre back because I don't have one. But it feels like he's just planning for long term. I don't know. I mean, the next game for United is Fulham, and then I think they have a couple of not easy, but a couple of games against the second bottom half teams. It's like United to put in a decent performance today, and then they go and lose the next one or draw. And Fulham are in good form. What can United do now to kind of to make sure that this does not become like something that they can actually bounce back quickly and get a win in the next 2 games?
So I think I'll just draw back reference to what you said earlier in a video, which you said that this is very similar to what Leicester season was. Mm-hmm. Like, United are there on the top. Nobody expected them to be there. And Leicester, maybe they've drawn some inspiration there that this is how the teams, would want to stay up. That you draw with the big 6, top 6, and then you kind of go full out against the bottom half. You kind of capitalize something that United was not doing like previously. That they were kind of drawing. It was opposite. They were performing. They were kind of putting some performances against the top 6 sometimes, but then they were kind of drawing games against the bottom half. Yeah, I think that's the change here. But what this game has allowed United and Ole is that he can still perform. He has shown that top 6 or like Liverpool. They were playing at Anfield, so of course there are no fans and everything. There's no atmosphere of that there at Anfield. But then still, being there, it's not home, it's away. Still, they kind of drew the game. They had chances, they could kill the game off, but they didn't. But it's better off than a one point share than a 3-point loss.
Yeah. Ayush, who's your man of the match for this one?
Definitely Alisson. I mean, he saved our asses today. That Bruno chance and Pogba chance both were clear-cut chances, and without him,
I'll give you the Bruno one. That was a good save. The Pogba one was Pogba had a crap shot. Pogba thought he was playing against Nick Pope. I think if Alisson had put that in, then there would have been questions about whether he had taken some money on the side or something. Because it was a poor shot from Pogba. But I get your point. If you
It
want,
was good. It was good positioning from the keeper also. I mean, the
the
shot at
positioning
power
is
and
good,
the
but
near
for sure. I mean, I like Alisson. I was like, every time the United were taking chances, like this is Alisson. This is you got to be. Good goalkeepers make you think as well twice before you take a shot to make sure that you get it right, and that sometimes causes issues. But I get Alisson. I mean, the as Ayush mentioned, two fullbacks played really well. I don't know if Van Bissaka was that good. I thought he had a few nervy moments, but Luke Shaw. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you thought Van Bissaka had a good game. I don't think he had his best game. I thought he was pretty good. But Luke Shaw,
I think for Van Bissaka, I would say that there were only a couple of times that Mane got past him, and it was a 1-2. So that's the only way you. But on one, he's again there is no way you can get across him one-on-one battle.
He did tackle thin air today, though. He missed his tackle today. I don't know if you saw that one where he actually tackled the grass and Mane was
and so he just let it go because I think he was very smart because I think he was watching the line. He was watching the line, and the minute he saw Mane had crossed the line, and he just kind of let it be. He just moved his feet. I could
it looked like he tackled the grass. I guess he realizes that he probably shouldn't tackle him, but. I mean, but Luke Shaw, I mean, is it fair to say now that Luke Shaw is the second best left back in the Premier League? Probably not the best. Probably there's Robertson's probably still the best, but is Luke Shaw now the second best left back in the league? Is there a case to be made for that?
I think there is. I think there is because he has come of age. There has been tremendous criticism on Luke Shaw for since he has joined. There's because everybody compares him to Patrice Evra. Everybody wants him to be that level, that crazy intensity, and then he comes across and in the craziest moments he is the calmest. Like there were moments in the game today as well where everybody's kind of pushing and just made a touch and just moved around but then there were moments where it was an easy pass but he made a meal out of it as well.
I think I think he still has issues offensively. I don't think he's on Robertson's level of his offensively. I don't think any fullback is. Alphonso Davies is. There's one guy, Alphonso Davies is. Now, let's hope to get Liverpool against Bayern in the Champions League. Maybe that would be an interesting one to see. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to be offensively, but defensively, he's worked on his game. He looks like he understands now when he's got to go forward, when he's got to defend. He looks okay. In that regard now, and I think he's worked on that. He's actually put in work on his defensive side, and looks more fitter. He looks more calmer, as you said, and it definitely works. And I think today, I mean, it's no mean feat keeping Mo Salah quiet for 90 minutes. So definitely was a good performance, and I know he gets a lot of criticism. But anyway, well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I think that's all the time we have. It's finished at 0-0. I know it's like a little bit. I know everybody's like a bit down because normally if it's 1-0 or 2-0, then one person's really happy, one person down. It's like all of us are like just like It's like sometimes you need that. But anyway, I mean, there's more games coming up. We've got more games today. I use just very quickly on this one, Man City. Surely now, I mean, this is a big game that's coming up against Crystal Palace for them. If they win that, they can now start to think about winning the title as well, or being in the title race as well now.
Yeah, I mean, City has been quietly upping their game, and with their centre back pairing of Diaz and Stones, I mean, the Shorty is back again, and with Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, they have an exceptional talent, generational talent who can open any kind of defense. I mean, this game needed that extra kind of quality which both teams lacked, and City has that in abundance, so they can unlock any team, and if they keep getting on the way they are now, I mean, they're definitely the favorites to win the title.
Yeah, just to leave you with one comment when Bruno Fernandes talked about penalties. Klopp, Ayush made a snide comment about penalties. Klopp made a snide comment about penalties, and Bruno talked about penalties. If De Bruyne had scored his penalty, Liverpool would have 1 point less because they would have lost the game that they played against City, and then that did happen. So it's not always, penalties are important as well, and they need to be scored when you get a chance. But anyway, thank you so much, Ayush. Thank you so much, Kanaya, for joining me today. Well, congratulations to both of you guys for getting a point out of the game, I guess. So
finally, it's a weird game of football where you kind of congratulate the other one a little bit.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Sure.
Okay.
It's what it is. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to smash a like, and please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Want to continue producing these kind of videos, so your support really helps us in doing that. So please do that. Have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching this, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.